It's nearing the end of 1999, the end of a century. There's so much to look back on and so much to look forward to. As a gamer, you've experienced a lot. You might even still be forming who you will be for the years to come through the titles you're experiencing. About a month or two before the century closes permanently, you get your hands on one of the most influential JRPGs you will ever play, and you won't be the same after. Hello everyone, welcome once again to the Dillon with a Blankie channel, where it's another beautiful day for another beautiful challenge. And today's challenge has a little story to why I'm doing it. Grandia is a game I played when I was a young boy, and I haven't replayed it in a while. I may have been 8 or 9 when I played it, but I fondly remember it. Fast forward to the present, and I'm now an old decrepit human with 3 children of my own. Son Aiden has been having it rough in school with reading comprehension, so we sat down and tried to work through his issues. His problem stems beyond explaining things to him. He needs to experience them to be able to work through it. It's just how he learns. So I got the bright idea to make him play Grandia. Grandia has a ton of dialogue, and unlike most recent games, it won't hold your hand and you can get lost very easily if you're not reading along with everything and finding the context clues for where to go next. Thus, I challenged my son to beat Grandia, and it was an amazing experience. I got to watch my boy enjoy the game that I played when I was his age, and he did exceptionally well, even surpassing my first playthrough. But there were some hiccups. Mind you, they weren't reading hiccups. He did great with that part, and now he's doing amazing in his language arts class. But the issue he had was in combat. My son had gone through the brunt of the game using only physical attacks. He reached a point where he got stuck due to not leveling enough and not really understanding the Grandia combat system. So I worked with him on those parts and realized that he just never used any magic. My boy blasted through the whole game without worry of his magic, and he did very well, only needing help near the very end. Which then begged the question, could I beat Grandia using only magic? Well, my friends, that is what we're here to find out. The rules of this run will be simple. All characters can only use magic to deal damage. The only exception is before we have access to magic. Any damage caused from physical attacks, even if you're confused, will be a reset. And last rule is to gain as little weapon experience as possible. The game isn't very difficult, and there's a decent amount of enemies that are impervious to magic, so I have to keep running away as an option, and I won't be outlawing the use of items since MP is a big part of even being able to cast magic. But yeah, it's that simple. Can we only cast magic till we beat the game? Well, it's about time we find out. We open the game to this guy, who is absolutely not the villain. He just sits on a throne because he's cool like that. In the town of Parm, we are introduced to our hero Justin, a 14-year-old child who is hunting for treasure. Justin is a big dreamer and wants to become an adventurer, so as kids do, he plays pretend. Cute. We're introduced to his friend Sue, an 8-year-old, who is always by Justin's side, and these two have quite the adventure ahead of them. For their first adventure, they have to find the legendary equipment set, which is, as you can imagine, just a bunch of junk that they give cool names. After playing around, Justin's mom abuses him, but at least she makes him dinner. Wait, there's one bedroom here, and the entire downstairs is a restaurant. Where the f*** does his mom sleep? Anyway, we need to head over to the Ball Museum to see the curator. Seeing how enamored Justin is with ancient Angelo society and the extinct Icarian race, the curator writes us a letter to see the dig site where they are excavating some ruins. And as a 14-year-old would do, he thanks him by destroying this priceless statue and runs off. It's at this point we head to Marna Road, and we don't have shit. No magic, no items, nothing. Seeing as I have no magic for anything, I decide to just skip every fight here and go straight to the Salt Ruins. Upon entering the ruins, we meet the part of the JRPG where you have to pick your favorite waifu. First, we have Nana, the masochist. Then Saki, the musclehead, and finally, Mio, the brains. Well, did you pick who your favorite is? Good, good. Well, I'd like to take the time to inform you that there's 16, you sick! Inside the ruins, we meet secret 4th and 5th options Lean, also 16, and Mullen. Mullen is the only correct choice because he is 23. All of these characters are part of a military regime calling themselves the Garlisle Forces. They're here searching for something, and they'll definitely find it with 16-year-olds running their army. We gain control here, and I still can't get into any fights, but I do know there is a dynamite item here, which is an item that does fire damage, so I make sure to collect that. And before you ask, I did check the shop in town for damaging items, and they do not sell any. I make way through the ruins collecting all the loot in case I need to sell it later. I then enter the main part of the ruins where Justin's spirit stone he gained from his late father makes a door open inside. It is here Liette of Alent proves the world is round, and that the mystical Angelo civilization was real, and Justin's spirit stone is proof of that. Our hero is then told he must travel east to find the answers he seeks. On the way out, we run into Mullen, who drags the info of what we just witnessed out of us. Justin finesses the army man and escapes, and it's here we encounter our very first battle, the Rock Bird. Now that we're finally in combat, I can explain how it works. The most important thing to start with is the IP bar. It's right down here. Instead of typically turn-based battle, Grandia opts to use this bar. You basically wait in line until you get here, then you pick a command. Then the character takes a little more time to carry out said command. The most important part of this system is when you select a move, if you're fast enough to react, you can cancel that move from being completed. So theoretically, you can keep an enemy from ever using any move if you play your cards exactly right. With that explained, now I can go over the commands. Let's start with what we don't use. First, we have combo, which is just a regular 2-hit attack with whatever weapon you have. Then we have critical. This is one heavy blow instead of 2 regular ones. The main difference is that crit always causes the cancel I was telling you about earlier, which is why physical combat is so OP in this game. You can just literally stop any attack. After that is magic and skills. We won't be using any skills since they are weapon-based, but they are the special moves of each character, and obviously, magic is magic. Aside from those, we have items, tactics, look, and defend. Look just lets you look at an enemy, which is kind of pointless because you can just select an attack and highlight them to look at these same stats. Grandia, unlike other titles, lets you see the enemy health bar as well as what attack they have queued up to use on you. And finally, defend has 2 options. First is to endure, which is just defending, and the other is to evade, which if used properly will help you dodge an incoming attack. Kind of a lot for a JRPG, right? At this point, you realize I can't damage this bird without attacking, so what I've decided is that until I get magic, only Sue can use her physical moves, and later on, you'll see exactly why I chose Sue. The whole fight here, I just have Justin run around, defend, and heal, while Sue hits the bird with her bow. The Spirit Stone Justin has can also raise your max health, so I decided to keep buffing Sue with this. The most dangerous attack the bird has is this Fire Orb attack, which hurts us pretty bad. I lose on the first attempt, but on the second I do much better since the RNG is much kinder to me. The bird constantly goes for his weaker attacks, and I could cancel the moves using critical, but I figure it's not in the spirit of my challenge, since most magic can't cancel out actions. This is why I'm focusing only on using combos for now. After a lot of arrows, we finally beat the first enemy of the game. Now, let me take a minute and show you this screen. This is the experience screen, and you will see everything levels up individually every time you use an element of magic or your weapons. You gain experience for that specific thing, making it stronger. This is why I'm focusing on just Sue. So, she is the only one gaining that weapon experience. The ruins are finally done. Time to head home and eat! The next day, we have to scout for a ship to take us to the new continent to truly begin our adventure. I sell all those items I just got at the shop to get some extra gold, and now we have to find a steamer pass. We head to the local strip club to find one. The locals inform us that an old adventurer might be willing to part with his should we find him. So we find him. His name is Java, and he's senile. So he sends 2 children into a monster-infested cave. Inside the cave, I again have to avoid every battle, and among the loot here are 3 grenades, which are just weaker dynamites. Gonna save these for the boss. In the deepest part of the mine, we encounter the Orc King and 2 regular orcs. I start immediately by tossing out all the grenades, which doesn't kill all of them, but manages to take 1 out. Then it's back to the same old Sue combos, and Justin heals. Surprisingly, Justin is extremely squishy and gets wrecked in 1 hit by these guys. And after he's out, Sue is screwed, because she's even weaker than he is. After losing Justin, I reset and give it another go, once again throwing out every grenade. And I switch Sue to a hammer I found to do more damage. We easily get down to just the king, and I get his attention away from Justin so he can focus on buffing my HP. The Orc King is really upset Justin isn't fighting, so he just wails on him, which works in my favor a whole lot, leaving Sue to punish and run away until we finally beat him. Apparently the entire structure of this cave was held together by the existence of those orcs, because now it's all caving in. So we get this dope card sequence. Java, impressed with us, gives us his steamer pass, meaning we can finally head to the new continent. Once back in town, Justin makes the sensible decision to not bring the 8-year-old with him. which of course she's upset about, but you know, she's 8! Justin doesn't confront his mother about leaving, but hints at it, and makes sure to hang his picture up next to his father's before leaving, swearing that he too will be an adventurer like he was. There's a shop in the ship where I stock up on as many healing items as I can, and then it's back to business on this big ship. It is a relaxing day on the steamer until the crew finds a stowaway and starts making a ruckus. Justin goes to check out what's going on, and oh Christ, it's Sue. Justin talks the crew into not throwing Sue overboard, which, what the fuck guys, she's a child. He agrees to the two of them becoming ship hands and swabbing the deck, bringing us to the coolest minigame ever. We do the odd job here and there on the ship until the crew gets a visit from the highest rated adventurer on the new continent, and it's yet another child! Fina is the #1 new adventurer on the continent, and is dropping off her latest haul on the steamer. Justin and Sue get to know her a little bit when the game decides that it's time. What time, you ask? Well, the moment every JRPG ever must have. Ghost ship! A random-ass ghost ship shows up and it stalls our ship somehow, and the only way to keep moving is to kill ghosts. I don't know, man, 1999 was just a different time. Justin, along with Sue and Fina, decide to brave the ship alone while the adults cry and shit themselves. Now, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I spent 4 hours with Sue trying to beat this place. As usual, I skipped all the fights, went straight to the boss, which is the Kraken, and this is what we've been fighting for. Beating this guy awards us our first mana egg, which is what's used to learn magic in this game. All I gotta do is beat him to death with an 8-year-old's toy hammer.
Oh no, we're not gonna make it.
I get railed like I'm in a 90s hentai by this dude. He is just so freaking strong, and Sue can barely dent him. The Kraken has 3 opportunities to attack, which, I forgot to mention, some bosses have multiple parts that can take their own turn. He can also heal, meaning Sue can't keep up. Unfortunately, I can't beat it, so I decide to start grinding, which is also just miserable. Sue can't hurt anything on this ship. We got ghosts, and these snail things that are all strong and physical, and the only enemy I can beat right now are these jellyfish, so I gotta keep resetting to make them respawn. I get some decent levels into Sue, and I find out these snail guys drop an item called Smarna Weed, so I grind them for a while to get 7 of them. This item drops defense of all enemies by 1 stage, and the cap is 7, so the idea is I drop his defense to an absolute minimum, kill him. Get closer than I did before, but it's back to the grinding board. No matter how much I put into Sue, she just isn't strong enough, and I've been on this ship for 6 fucking hours, fighting over and over again. I head to Sue's stat screen to see her level on weapons when I notice something peculiar. That's right, folks. Fina starts with fire magic, so I did all this grinding for nothing, and I haven't been double saving, so I have nowhere to go back to. Thus, I had to start the run all over again. With the knowledge I have now, I make a couple of better choices. First off, I defeat the Rockbird using only attacks from Sue and save the dynamite for the orcs. Using the dynamite and the grenades, I kill both orcs, meaning Sue only has to smack down the king. And in much better time, I get back to the ghost ship, with Sue only having her bow at level 4, and mace not being used at all. Now that I'm redoing it, I only use Fina for this part using her burn magic, the first spell we get. After gaining some levels on her fire magic, she learns Burn Flame, which is just a much bigger burn spell. I could fight the squid now, but we need more MP. This will require a leveling fire magic more. The way magic works in Grandia is you have 3 tiers. Tier 1 is weak and doesn't have much range. Tier 2 is bigger range and damage, and Tier 3 is just massive AoE spells. Each tier has its own MP assigned to it, and every level you gain in a magic stat disperses 3 MP randomly to each stat. So sometimes Tier 1 can get all 3 of those, and sometimes it divides between them. We have no way to restore MP at this point, so I just need the Tier 1 value higher so we don't run out. I save before heading in to fight the squid and take a look at the 4-hour difference between the files. It causes me physical pain. I give Justin and Sue all of the healing items and Smarna weeds we have, then Fina goes to town using Burn, which is so much easier than attacking with only Sue. Speaking of Sue, she dies immediately in this fight. I place Justin out of range to heal while Fina draws aggro. Burn is an AoE spell, a very small AoE mind you, but it does hit the Kraken in his 2 tentacles every time when used, so eventually he loses both tentacles and we finish him off easily, finally gaining our coveted prize, the first mana egg. We finally embark on New Parm. Clever name. Fina departs from the party for now, and we cash in that first mana egg. To use a mana egg, you go to any store and use the staff icon. Then you can purchase either water, fire, wind, or earth. Our first will be wind magic for Justin. Since Fina already has fire, I figure it would be smart to have more coverage. Heading into the Adventurer Society, we try to become members, and this fucking dope won't let us become adventurers. What a bust, but fuck him. No government controls me. So I decimate the population of snakes in the local ecosystem with wind magic. Finding Fina's tent out in the area, we meet up with her, and she complains that the Adventurer Society leader is a piece of shit who is trying to force her into a marriage. As if on cue, piece of shit shows up and kidnaps her. He has Retsu from Grappler Baki knock me out and run off. I love how Fina goes from badass adventurer to damsel in less than 5 minutes. On the way back to town, I grab this other mana egg I missed. I teach Sue water, which is the only element she will get, and you will see why much later. From here, there's a chapel where Fina is being held, and there's a secret entrance in the back leading to the sewers below. Here we have a lot of slime enemies, which are prime real estate for gaining experience on our magic. I believe the way it levels is for every enemy a spell hits, you gain a fixed amount for that hit. Slimes are plentiful and keep dividing, meaning we can gain a lot from this. Water magic is a lot harder to level than the others, since you only start with a healing spell, and can only use it when you've actually been damaged. Using it gives 3 XP, so it takes a lot of time to increase its level. I spent some time going back and forth between Fina's house save point and the fights nearby to level up more. Now you probably noticed the stars next to the magic I'm using. And what those stars mean is how fast we move from the command being selected to the action being carried out. So no stars means it takes a while, and full stars is near instant. These stars go up with levels of that element, so as long as wind keeps getting leveled up, Howl will gain more stars. Back in the sewers, I deal with any fight I end up in while finding my way to the end, where there's a save point I can recover at, making it easier to go back and forth between fights. There's also another mana egg in this dungeon I nab. After obtaining it, I head to the chapel to fight Retsu, and he is insane! For the fourth boss, he is jacked, dude. His combo attack does 3 hits instead of 2, and his skills are just insanely powerful. On top of that, he is fast running through the IP bar like he's got a fast pass at fucking Disney World. He destroyed us in the first fight, and I knew it wouldn't get any better since I can't cancel his moves. So I take that egg I got back to New Parm and teach Justin fire magic to hopefully increase my damage output. Wind is good for both offense and defensive magic, but when it comes to bosses, the house spell just can't cut it. I go back to Fina's and grind up all my magic a bit more. Sue learns Snooze and All Heal, and Justin learns Burn Flame and Burn Flare. Burn Flare is our first level 3 magic, but unfortunately we do not have enough MP to even use it. Snooze is a spell that puts all enemies to sleep, making leveling water much easier than it was. So I have Sue spam it every fight. While leveling a bit more, I gained another spell that will be used the entire run. On top of all the other shit we had to learn, spells in this game can mix. To unlock new spells, you need to get magics to a certain level. For example, getting water and wind to certain levels make ice magic. Earth and water make forest. The spell we got here is Zap. The mixture of fire and wind creates lightning magic, which is offensively the strongest we can get. I mean, just look at this damage, because it is miles from what we've been doing. Feeling more confident, I confront Retsu again. He attacks Justin 3 times for every 1 attack Justin can get off. I need him to focus on Sue, but he just lays into Justin. He does finally start bullying Sue, but he kills her really quick, meaning it's just us now. He cancels every attack, and I try my best to hit him with stuff, but I still end up losing. It's like this for a while, and I'm having a tough time, so I once again head back to increase my magic stats. The big issue is my MP available. I can use Zap, which is super strong, but it can only be used once. And then I can only use my burns a few times after I use Zap. I increase my MP to a much higher level, as well as getting my stars up, and I finally am fast enough to cast Zap on him. With one final burn, we finally win against this asshole. The head of the society cries, pisses, and shits himself, running away in utter shame. Fina is now free from the Adventurous Society's shackles. No one can govern children. We rest up at Fina's house and wake up to that old feeling of new adventures. The next destination is the Dom Ruins, but we must head through the Wrangell Mountains to get there. In said mountains, we can find 2 mana eggs, and I use them to teach Fina and Justin earth magic, giving them Diggin', which increases the party's defense level. On the way to the ruins, Justin and Fina both learn Tremor, a small AoE earth spell, and Fina learns Wow, which increases the attack stat. After the mountains, we aren't out of the woods yet. Literally, we just walked into them and into the Dom ruins. We proceed through fighting whatever gets in our way and looting everything we find. This place also has slimes, which makes it great for magic leveling. We meet up with the mini-boss, Ganymede. He is like this turtle thing, and although he has 2 parts for attacking, these share the same HP pool, so where you attack really doesn't matter. Since we need earth magic to be up to par, I use Tremor a lot to gain some levels. Tremor isn't nearly as good as Burn Flame is, which is why I want to get earth leveling over with ASAP, so I can focus on the better magics. Sue does an amazing job keeping up with all the healing that we need, because this guy can pull us all in and hit all of us at once, making it miserable. Mid-fight, Fina learns Burn Flare. Unfortunately, she is 1 MP shy of being able to cast it. We just stick to good old Burn until he's in range for Justin to hit him with Zap, and just like that, it's over. Not too crazy a battle. If anything, it was good XP for all our magic. In the next room, we meet Liette again, who reiterates that the world is not flat, and we should check that shit out for ourselves, homie. Before leaving the ruins completely, I take advantage of the stage hazard here. These head things will hit you and damage the party, which you can then have Sue heal everyone, giving you an infinite way to increase water experience. And the save point is right there, meaning MP isn't an issue either. On the way out, Justin learns Boom, which is a fire and earth magic that, it goes boom pretty strong. We find a child collapsed in the forest, and he has horns. Cool! We take him to Fina's to rest. While he naps, I head back into town to spend another mana egg on Fina, teaching her water magic for more healies to forget my feelies. The kid needs a special herb that happens to grow right in Fina's backyard. How convenient. What's that? It's on top of a mountain in her backyard. Thanks, JRPG. We clear most mobs here, no issue. Get the weed and give it to the kid. The next morning, he's playing the Oath to Order, which summons the Garlisle forces who had kidnapped him and hurt him earlier. They capture all 4 of us and imprison us in their main base. Not one to be locked down, Justin tricks the guards and escapes, only to be caught and thrown in jail again. This time, completely tied up, it's here Lean meets Justin face to face and seemingly tosses him a key for him to escape. He wriggles from his binds and frees the others thanks to the mysterious Lieutenant Lean. You now have to crawl through the vents of the base to get around, and near the rear you find where that child is from earlier being held captive. Our objective now is to release him, but God forbid we just jump down, that would be too fucking easy! No, we gotta go all the way around! On the ground we fight with some guards and nab some good gear, which we can switch into that doesn't make the team so squishy. And we spy on the, mind you, 16-year-old sergeants getting dressed, and the devs give you a decent shot of it all by allowing you to go in further. They talk about the code that opens the door to the kid you saw, so heading back there and entering the code gets us in, and of course, we break him out, end up fighting with Sergeant Nana, and 3 privates. I immediately kill the privates with 1 boom, and then we slaughter this poor child with every spell I have. Right after, we run into Saki, where we once again just decimate her and her forces. There is a heal point nearby, so I keep running to that after these fights. Outside is Mio, who is the easiest one considering how low her health is. We just run through these fights easily. Then we steal a f***ing train. Yeah, a train. No government or military force can stop this 14-year-old. Once it gets going, we gotta fight our way back up to the cabin, which isn't much issue. Just 1 tier 2 spell buries these guys. Once at the front, Justin has the genius idea to break the brakes. Then detach the rear of the train so that the 3 ladies are stuck riding off into the sunset. Once off the train that stopped conveniently exactly where we needed to go next, our new friend takes us to his village. To get there, we have to go through these woods with tons of enemies inhabiting them. Sue dies, but it doesn't matter, because we all had fun. At the village of humanoids, the elder tells us the only way we can stay in the village is to gain the blessing of their god. I don't want to stay here, asshole. I'm literally about to leave. Going through the mountains of the god of light, we have to make our way to the top so that a rock can tell these people we're chill. On the way to the top, there are these metal beetles who are impervious to magic, so I need to run from them. Once the rock says we are dope and fresh, the elder believes it as well, and we can finally sleep in their beds. That does not last long because the Garlisle forces invaded the village, attempting to kidnap the big rock. Justin and co. now have to fight through the waves of the forces up to the peak of the mountain. Again, they aren't really a hassle, and I just lay into my strongest AoE magic to clean up all of them. The only issue here is MP, since it's fight after fight. I'm afraid I'll run out, but we get through just fine. And the forces manage to take the rock, which happens to be a big-ass spirit stone. Hearing the news that their god was stolen, they say fuck it, and they just make a new one. Then show us the way to the end of the world, which is a huge-ass wall, where the people believe the world ends, hence the name. We gotta clear through the forest first, and it's a bit disappointing, because I did a bunch of battles and I didn't get any new magic, which is a bummer. Nevertheless, we arrive at the wall that would put Attack on Titan to shame. It is massive, and no one has ever climbed it. So we do the unthinkable, and climb this absolutely climbable wall. I mean, there are stairs and elevators, and there's stuff everywhere. What stopped people from going up? This section goes on for a while. I believe there are 12 sections of wall to climb. Every little bit, we stop to set up camp and reminisce on how far we've come and whether this wall is really scalable or not. We run into a variant of the rock bird we fought in the beginning of the game, and we chip him to death with fire and earth magic, and we barrage the poor bastard so hard he can't even move. But that's not the end, because there is a fight a bit ahead where you gotta fight 3 of them. Now we're talking.
Alright, we won!
Oh, never mind. It still wasn't much of a challenge because Sue just puts them to sleep. We set up camp and it seems kind of hopeless since we've been climbing forever, but just then the sun shined on the crew, showing them they stopped to rest right at the top. They did it. They conquered the end of the world. And then this machine throws them off the fucking side. Do you want to know what this machine is for? Too bad, you'll never know! Thank God for plot armor, because everyone's okay. But Sue was separated from us, which is the best case scenario. I'm glad I taught Fina water magic, by the way. We are now in the Dragon Valley, and this place is huge. And I mean huge. There are a ton of dead ends, winding paths, and just enemies everywhere. The heal points are few and far between, so I have to conserve as much as I can to keep these 2 alive. Being as careful as I can while navigating through this mess, I take turns having either Justin or Fina clear the screen so they can both keep gaining experience. We finally make it to a clearing where it's indicated that Sue has become Stew! Stew! The only one nearby to blame is this night-looking dude, so we do the sensible thing and try to kill him. Unfortunately for us, he is invincible and nothing hurts him. Joke's on him though, because I just spammed Dig In to up my Earth level. And learned Boom Pow, which is a screen-clearing explosion. Then he killed me in 1 hit.
Come, power of the universe! Ha! Dragon King Slice!
Which is fair. He's like 30-year-old man, and Justin's what, 14? Yeah, 14. Wearing these adorable ruby red slip-ons. The misunderstanding is cleared up when it's revealed that Gadwin here saved Sue and was keeping her safe. Impressed with Justin, he forces him to go on a suicide mission for the sake of his village. What a guy. We still got more of Dragon Valley to deal with. So moving forward, there are these golems here who are impervious to magic. So, yeah, forget that. And Gadwin here has fire and earth magics already on deck. We can't teach him any other magic though, because the game won't let us. Gadwin is like double our current level, so he is massively strong physically. His magic though, kinda whack. So it puts him on par with the rest of the team, except Sue. After what feels like forever, we're back in a village where we meet this stereotype. Take a guess on the stereotype, because I'm not telling you, and you're the racist, not me. This is Guido. He is of a race called the Moge, because there can't be less gay! Since we finally make it to a village, I sell off all the crap I found on the way that I won't be using, and I buy some better gear to make everyone's stat a decent number. Another thing I didn't mention about the skill levels is that each thing is tied to an attribute, so every level water gets will increase your HP by that much. Earth increases our strength, so that's not a super worthwhile one for us. Wind increases our agility, and fire increases wit, which is short for weight, and that determines how fast you move on the IP bar. This village is really worried about the rain because of global warming or something. The only way to stop this deadly, slightly warmer than normal rain is to destroy a tower, so Justin volunteers to go with Gadwin and blow up this building, because climbing stuff is what we do best. Before we head out of the village, I did manage to find 2 eggs in the Dragon Valley, so before I forget, I teach Justin water. That way everyone has access to healing magic. And I teach Fina wind, meaning they both now have full access to magic. The place up ahead is full of poison pools, which I use to increase everyone's water magic while running back and forth to a save point. Doing this, Justin learns Snooze, Cure, Freeze, Cold, Crackle, Crackling, All Heal, Healer, and Resurrect. Meanwhile, Fina learns Snooze, Cure, Healer, All Heal, and All Healer. Freeze and Cold drops stats on an enemy. Crackle is a single hitting ice magic, while Crackling hits everything. And Cure cures poison. And all the heals are just single or multi-heals of varying efficacy. The mobs are easily cleared by all the AoE spam we do. We get to the Typhoon Tower, which is aptly named, and I wander a lot trying to figure this place out. First off, the emulator hates it here and it runs at like 4 frames. In the midst of the fights, Justin learns Burn Strike, which is a single hitting magic that shoots 4 fireballs. After finally figuring out what the fuck to do, we make it to the boss, this 4-headed serpent. Each head, master of an element. At this point, you can either focus just the body down or hit everything, And with the magic I have, I opt to blow everything up constantly. With it having 5 opportunities for attacks, it does put up a decent fight, but the armor I just equipped makes everything just casually bounce off of us, and we slowly melt the boss. In the room ahead, there are 2 mirrors, and only one leads to the path to saving Dite. The other will kill you, a great choice. Gadwin gallantly proclaims that he will pick one, and if he dies, Justin must take the other. But of course, Gadwin too big! Meaning Justin has to make the choice himself. But he doesn't make the choice, Fina makes the choice. Who's picking the door? At least she picked the right one. And we got the spear, and just like every other place, this one starts falling apart too. What is everything in this world made of? Styrofoam? Justin falls into a pit, and the others escape. While everyone grieves Justin being gone, his spirit stone brings him back to his friends, because of the power of love or something. I don't know.
Fina, how about that? I did it. Aren't you impressed? What? What the heck was that for? Uh-oh.
Justin! You fool! Look at me! I'm crying!
We need to escape her. Sue points at a rainbow that we'll never get to see, and we leave. Good stuff. Job well done, team. We place the fork in the village, and this stops the rain somehow. With that crap cleared up, Justin tells Gadwin we're looking for some ruins to explore in the south, and he tells us the name of those ruins. Twin Tower. I don't know. I don't think I want to be in those. First, we gotta go to a town called Gumbo to find someone who will bring us to those towers. Of course, it's not a straight shot, and we have to go through, you guessed it, more mountains, now with lifts that go nowhere. I decide that I hate this and leave to cause self-harm via poison pools. After I get that out of my system, we make it to Gumbo. Gumbo is a strange village where the climate was once a tropical paradise, and it is now freezing, and the furries here refuse to yiff, which is strange because I've never heard of yiffless furries. We head up to the elder who is happy to see us for some reason, and decides to throw a party in our honor. Cool, I guess? Except it's not cool. The furries have tricked us. They didn't stop yiffing because they want to. They stopped because the elder throws people who fuck into the volcano. While this isn't very cash money of the elder, it does lead to my favorite scene in the game. That always gets a little giggle out of me. Now we're in the volcano dungeon, and as usual, I do my best to avoid most encounters. Of the ones I get into, Gadwin learns Boom Pow, and I just use my lowest level spells most of the time so I gain extra experience on them. The boss of the volcano is a dragon. He can do some AoE attacks, but he doesn't hurt the party much. Even if he managed to take everyone down, Gadwin is so OP in this part of the game, he can just bring everyone back from dead. I just rush the dragon with ice magic from Justin and Fina until he goes down. Just like every other place we've been to, now this one wants to explode as well. Can we go anywhere without the place imploding? After escaping, the furries are finally allowed to openly yiff, and all of a sudden I'd rather be at the Twin Towers. Oh, by the way, here's a beautiful shot of Justin and Fina. Nice. Good desktop background. Oh, oops, I forgot about this mana egg in the volcano. Don't want to miss that. Now that these assholes got all the horny out, we can go to the Twin Towers, and I hope that this place doesn't explode. This place is a mega pain. It's huge. It's practically its own puzzle maze. Upon entering, we see evidence that the Garlisle forces are here, and at this point, who cares? We've defeated the whole army twice now, and they never actually use those tanks. PS1 doesn't have memory for that. The enemies here are these weird Medusa things that specialize in, shutting off your magic. That's fun. So I run from these. There's a lot of decent gear here, so I loot as much as I can for more gold later. Deep in the towers, we trick the forces into thinking we're tour guides and run into Mullen and Lean, who corner us in this teleport pad thing. Gadwin and Justin attempt to take Mullen down, and Fina is as surprised as I am that Mullen won, because I doubt Twinkie Groomer Man can beat Gadwin. During the scuffle, we are transported to a museum of dead shit. And Mullen isn't such a bad guy. See, he's helping Fina out. that just makes him being a groomer okay, right? Justin ends up stuck with Lean and they kind of work together. It's real cute. See, she even gives him the Spirit Stone back. We're all done here, and you won't believe that the only building that doesn't get destroyed in this game is the Twin Towers. Thank you for that, Game Arts. Now we need to go through the sea of only fan models to get where Liette wanted us to go, but ain't nobody willing to go through those thirst traps. The Elder of Dite has our solution. An orb that teleports the user anywhere they want, only once. And as if on cue, Sue passes out from exhaustion. What did you expect? She got little ass legs and she gotta keep up with all of us. The party, minus Sue, now head to the Vanishing Hill to find said orb. There are a lot of varying enemies, and they're actually pretty strong, meaning we can abuse a lot of them to gain more levels. We grab all the key items and head to fight the first boss of the area. Before going in, I check out where we stand status-wise. Justin has every first and second level magic. We gotta work on his level 3 stuff, which requires more of, well, everything. Fina is way worse off, having almost half the levels Justin has, so she has a way to go to start unlocking some good level 3 spells. After identifying what I need to focus on, we engage in battle with the Massacre Machine. Much like every other boss so far, he is not much of a challenge since he does such little damage against the party. But he does get a few hits in. I even start using some of the weaker magics just to milk as much experience as I can for the party. Justin also gets to debut his Gad Zap here, which is one of his strongest spells in the game. I stand at the place bathed in heavenly light. Come forth, thunder of the... Wrong game? Wrong game. After dispatching of him, we do nearly the same stuff on the next screen, and we fight the same exact boss again. I more or less deal with this guy exactly the same, just spamming the stuff I want levels for. We kill him, and finally, we can get the orb and head back to get Sue. The doc here tells us that while her exhaustion is cured, she is much too young to continue beating herself up like this, and Sue decides it's time for her to leave the party. In Justin's kindness, he decides to use the orb instead to send Sue back to Parn. I'm not crying, you are. It's at this point, Sue leaves the party forever, and that is why I only gave her the water element. You don't get those eggs back, so I'm saving them for someone else. Gadwin decides he hates me, and makes me walk all the way to his house in Dragon Valley. It's decidedly tougher with only us two to make it through, but we get to Gadwin's, where he challenges us to yet another duel, to prove how much of a man we've become. This time around, he's not invincible, and I have a little surprise for him. A while back, I got Burn Strike. Never really got to use it since it only hits one target, but here, I have nothing holding me back since it's just us. After my initial Gad Zap, I slap him with a Burn Strike until victory is mine. After the battle, Gadwin acknowledges our strength and teaches me an awesome move that I can't use, and he leaves our party for good, telling us it's time to forge our own path. I wish I could soak in the sentiment here, but I'm too mad I have to walk through this valley again. After all that, we finally get to a boat and sail off to where Liette told us. Fina and Justin have some touching moments finally being alone together, when they run over someone in the water. Alright, whole ass ocean, but you ended up hitting my boat. Young random lady here says her friends were kidnapped by pirates, so we gotta save them. Of course, being the big-headed hero, Justin agrees. This here is the turning point. It's been smooth sailing so far, but down to 2 characters and having no weapon experience has made us very squishy. Like, only 2 hits is all that's needed to kill us. So I cannot goof around casting weak magic. I've got to pull out the stops against these basic enemies before they introduce me to a watery grave. The paths here are super tight, making it tough to avoid combat. Nevertheless, we find the girls, and of course, they are giant fish people that want to eat us. We enter a boss battle with this mermaid and show off just how strong our magic has become. Fina has healing covered and uses fire when she can, and Justin just spams his zap spell. Justin gets really close to dying, but Fina ekes out a win with a crackle, learning resurrect in the process. Couple return to where they left off in their conversation, and we finally arrive at the new land, putting an end to Disc 1. Beginning Disc 2, the spike in enemy difficulty is palpable, and the first area we have to go through is very reminiscent of Dragon Valley. Big. Enemies everywhere. Hazards. But there's one positive here. This theme is a banger! In our first battle here, Fina learns Crackle. In most of this area, I focus on Earth Magic for Justin and Fire for Fina. They net a lot of valuable experience, being the only two I have to worry about right now. Smack dab in the middle of this swamp forest place is Guido. A familiar face, he lets us stay in his tent, and by lets us, I mean he forces us and answers a few questions about Alent and the Spirit Stone, albeit in cryptic ways. After we spend the night, he forces us to pay him. Some more battles, and we run into a child who can teleport. Neat. Our heroic couple decides to stand on this obvious pit trap, and we're introduced to the best character in the game, Rap. Why is he the best? Well, it's literally just this frame of his face. Rap is of the Cafu people, and thinks we are bad news, but before we confront each other, we are attacked by a Trent. This will be our first battle with Rap, and he only starts with fire magic, so we're going all out with fire against this tree. Cover your eyes, Smokey, because this forest fire is about to get big. The Trent has 3 parts to attack with, and boy, does he use them. He nearly takes out Fina, but she recovers the damage. Shortly after, we lose Justin, and he only comes back due to a revival stone I had. After the 2 stumps are taken care of, the main body goes down easily. Rap says we are honorary cool kids and he joins our club. Right now, Rap only has fire, and it's at such a low level, he only has burn and burn flame. He is an exceptionally strong physical fighter, and I'd go so far as to say he's the strongest in the game. But when it comes to magic, he sucks. Only because he starts with nothing magic-wise. And we are super late in the game, so we have to work really hard to even catch him up. Luckily, I saved a bunch of mana eggs so I can teach him everything and we can get started immediately. We also don't have to start completely from scratch, because when Sue and Gadwin left, they also left items that hold the experience they earned for weapons and magic. It may only be a third of that total experience, but it's better than nothing. Using these items, we get him up to level 8 in water and level 3 in earth. I mean, at least he has some healing options now. We're pretty far into this JRPG, aren't we? About time for racist old people. Yeah, so the people of Cafu hate everyone who isn't a tree person or whatever these guys are. But you know what? Screw that old guy. Let's check out the old Cafu village. Oh. Ooh. Seems the other humans who happen to be here have caused this village to petrify, as well as the people here. Rap introduced us to his parents, who he polishes every day, so they are like these round boulders, and buddy, Rap, pal, my guy. What do you expect to happen to them if we cure them now? You scrub them into boulders, they will most definitely— A tower nearby is the cause of all this misfortune. And along with Rap, we're gonna go blow it up. We have a track record of blowing stuff up, so we're the people for the job. Rap shows us the tower, and of course it's the Garlisle forces yet again. When we enter, Rap gets real racist, saying that he can tell Elanian is here, and I don't know what that is. Anyway, enter Milda. She beats the racism out of Rap, and I mean that in a literal way, because he is cool as hell after being folded like that. With Rap out, it's up to us to beat Milda, and she is a powerhouse. 2 hits from her, we're gone. Good thing I have Big Zappy's spell and Healy's. While Justin pelts her with single target spells, Fina focuses on healing after every hit Milda deals. It takes a good minute, but we take her down. As she goes down, she mumbles something about destroying the tower. Mayhaps she be a friend? We drag her to safety, and when Rap and Milda come to, she agrees to let Rap hit her to make them even. He declines, saying he didn't care anyway, and I wouldn't care either after getting that fist combo supreme beatdown his ass just ate. We good as hell, Milda. The Tower of Doom is, of course, another thing we must climb with narrow halls, and it's just filled with soldiers, so avoiding battles is tough. Milda is also useless as she has no magic, and she doesn't have the ability to learn any, so I set her strategy to defend and put her on automatic so I don't have to waste time with her turns. There are a lot of these guys here, and they are prime real estate for AoE spells. I grind up Justin's earth magic and learn Halva, which cures any status ailments. Fina picks up Speedy, which raises one character's wit, and Rap learns Poison, which will never get used because it never works. We make our way through and find a room that houses, this thing. Gross. Speaking of gross, Nanasaki and Mio enter and talk to a projection of definitely not the bad guy. We're in a mood for destruction, so screw that gross brain thing, we need to go blow it up. And uh-oh, we show up at the wrong time and it matures into a mech. I hate when plants do that. The Gaia Battler has 3 parts, the body and its shoulders. One of the shoulders heals, while the other and its body just use AoE attacks that hit just about everything on screen. Right off the bat, I have to start healing, otherwise we are dead. Justin spams his lightning, Fina heals, and Rap dies. Good thing we know Resurrect. We destroy the healing shoulder since it's weak to magic, but the other is resistant, meaning we have to focus the body now. I have Justin switch from AoE to single target magic, while Rap is literally our punching bag. Just to let you know, Rap has cast like no spells, but this dude is adamant about only hitting him. I raise our defense level, so maybe Rap can last a bit longer, and it's at this point, it's just funny when Rap gets decked. Mid-fight, Justin learns Fireburner, which is a single target fire spell, and why not use it now? Let's go! Poor Rap had a time in that one, but at least he lived long enough to get the experience from the fight. This was easily the toughest fight we've had so far, and it doesn't get easier. I'm happy to say this is where it starts to become challenging. I know. What are we, like 40 minutes in now? So we don't destroy the tower per se, we just beat that boss and leave, which is kind of weird considering the wake of destruction we've left on accident. Back in Cafu, the racist elder won't let Milda in because she, fornicates with an ox or something. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Out of the kindness of his heart, he lets us sleep in the inn for the night, and wouldn't you know, the Garlel forces attack the village in the middle of the night. It's a repeat of the other village, and we have to defeat wave after wave of these soldiers. It only takes a full turn to take them out, so still not very difficult. We bump into Lean, who is here, to take the Gaia seed, which is the thing that the monster we beat pooped out. And it turns into another battle where Lean reveals she is, in fact, an Icarian. But wait, aren't her and Fina sisters? We did it though. We saved the village. But old people can't curb racism, so we must leave. At least we keep Rap with us. These pieces of shit don't deserve him anyway. The next area is the Zill Desert, and I do a lot of grinding here. I have to get Rap up to spec so he can participate in future battles. There are also 2 EX dungeons here. One is the Soldier's Graveyard, which is this massive, annoying maze that I'm not doing. The other dungeon we will be doing though. And on the way, Rap learns Stram, Defense Loss, Zap All, Crackling, and Wow. And Justin learns Baboom and Quake. The EX dungeon here is called the Castle of Dreams, and while it's not very special for any real reason like items or tough monsters, it's special because of this. This wall here will damage the entire party super fast, and we can use this to power level our water magic and run back and forth to the save point to recover our MP. I do this with every character to get their water magic to the highest level it needs to be for each of them to unlock all the water spells. This means for the rest of the game I won't need to grind water ever again, and I can focus on the other 3 elements. The other nice thing here is the hordes of zombies near the spike wall. Hitting all these guys with a single spell can net like 25 experience for any element, so I fight them as much as I can. Once all that's cleaned up, I head to the boss of the area, the Mage King. What's tough about him is that he's very resistant to any magic, so we have to play this perfectly. At this point, all Justin's level 1 and 2 magic have full stars, meaning the attacks are instant. I'm not focusing on any grinding here, this is a fight to win. This Mage King can shoot this beam out, hitting multiple members, and he can cast lightning magic, all of which is pretty strong. He has 3 parts as well, meaning he can kill any of us if he doesn't disperse his attacks. I have a pretty tough time figuring him out and spamming strong magic. It's not working here. He's even killing Milda, who is defending the whole time, so I work on a new strategy after a few losses to him. I disperse all the healing items I can to Milda so she can be useful in the fight, and I use a command I've been ignoring since the start of the run. I use the evade tactic. The idea is to position everyone super far away from each other so he can't hurt multiple people and has to focus one at a time. My positioning couldn't be better because for some reason, his beam attack can't hit anybody now and he has no way to move us. We're also far enough that Zap will only hit one person at a time instead of everyone. This makes the biggest difference since it renders all but one part of him useless. I give the bastard a taste of his own medicine and keep smacking him up with Zap spells. It gets a little scary when he's able to move Rap by hitting him, and the evasion is being kind of ass, only letting me move to awful spaces. But we get lucky with Guy just blasting in outer space instead of at us, which lets us win the battle. For winning that fight, we get this awesome sword with thunder properties. I sold it. That ends our time here, and we go back to the desert to try and find our way to Lane. There's a town called Zilpadon on the way, so we rest there first, and I manage my inventory. I manage it a lot in this run, but I rarely even have to use them, so I end up just selling everything, and that should be evident based on my gold count alone. After hanging around, we're back on the trail in the savannah. This place has high counts of enemies, so they're worth hitting with a big AoE for some pointage. The savannah is kind of big, so I get lost a lot, but we finally make it out, and it's not over yet. Now we gotta cross more mountains! This mountain range is pure ass. I hate it here. I don't know what to say, but Rap knows Runner, Fiora, and All Healer now at least. Since I forgot to mention it, Fiora blocks enemies from using magic, but like poison, it doesn't ever work on anybody. Justin also learns Halnado, which is a cool addition because it has the added bonus of mixing everyone's position on the field, including the team's. Justin now knows every spell he can, and it's just a matter of leveling up from here. I'd like you to take note of the poor stats everyone has here. You would think they would be better since we're using magic that ups every stat, but the thing is, weapons increase multiple stats, and sometimes they do it twice in one level. So since we miss out on that, our crew is spongy as hell. Fina is really close to having all her stuff, but some of it is question marks, so who knows what's needed for those ones. Of the ones we can see though, we just need to increase Earth some more, and Rap still needs a bit of everything. Fina does have Dragon Zap and Protect now, so she is the perfect blend of offense and defense for the party. After a grueling map, we finally make it to Lane, where we get to meet Darlin, who is Milda's lover, and he's an Oh! Yeah, the Elder was right. There are 3 of these guys, Oxmen, who are known as the 3 wise men of Lane, and one of them is an expert on Ancient Angelo, and should know the details of how to get there, so let's go see him. So apparently he lost his horn, and we have to go find it. This wouldn't be a JRPG without creating a conflict for every little scenario. We have to go back to the depths of Old Lane to find his horn, and it's weird. Apparently Gaia has shifted all of space and time here. This place is your typical confusing warp dungeon, with warps taking you anywhere except where you want to go. Most of the encounters I have, Justin uses wind and earth magic. Fina goes for earth most of the time. I wandered this place for like 2 hours before finally stumbling into the boss. One of these things again, and it's pretty flimsy. Just do the first turn of damage and we do 1,000 damage to every part. Even when it heals, it just can't handle the numbers I'm putting out. Still, my team is real squishy from not using weapons, and any direct hits from it are very deadly, so I stick to my fast casting lightning magic to take it down quick. The horn is right behind him, so we grab it, and now we have to backtrack all the way out. Lucky for you, I won't subject you to that. Giving Dude his horn back, he lets us know that to open the way, we need to throw that metal into the fountain of Zilpadon. On the way out, Milda says her goodbyes to the party, and that's the last we see of her. Honestly, forgot she was still with us. I'm not really sure how much longer we can use shops, so I take a little time and sell off anything I won't be using anymore. Anyway, Zilpadon. Oh, hey, Guido! He's the Moge leader! Yay! He joins the party, but he has no magic. Boo! Metal in the fountain, and now for the most infamous dungeon from my memory. I have a bit of a tale about this place. When I was but a young lad, I came here, and once you enter here, you cannot leave until you beat the boss. What I didn't know was the boss was probably the hardest fight I ever had in the entire game, and I went in wholly unprepared. I had to start the entire game over to prepare for this fight, and that's the story of how I started double saving. This is another place with a lot of zombies, so any multi-target spell is bound to level up a few times here. We progress through, and as if taunting me right before the boss is a resurrect potion. Then we confront the Ruin Guard, and he is as tough as I remember. This guy has 3 parts, his boomerang, scythe, and body. His boomerang is a menace since it just jumps the IP line super fast and hits everything in its path. His scythe is crazy strong against anyone it hits, and he has lightning magic. I do my best to give everyone better defense with Rap, heal with Fina, and have Justin spam AoE at him, hoping one of his parts gives in sooner rather than later. Guido does come in handy a bit since I use him to revive everyone if someone goes down. This is probably the first fight I've had since, what was it, Retsu? Cheng? Whatever. That attacks more than I do. Like seriously, he is throwing that fucking boomerang religiously. Throughout the fight, the party gets more split up, which helps since he can't hit all of us at the same time. Once his health is far enough down, I start using magic I don't typically use to level it up. Once his scythe is out of the picture, the fight slows down for him a lot. Then once the boomerang follows suit, it's just a matter of time till we win. In the next room, we get the metal we need to finally bring us to Alent. Now we just gotta get the hell out of here. As if on cue, the Garlisle forces are now here, and they get in our way. So we need to find a different route out. There's a basement area not far from here that we take, and of course somehow, Mullen cuts us off before we get to the end. General Bad Guy activates Lean's powers as an Icarian and awakens the golems in the wall, which actually helps us out. During the escape, we get separated from both Rap and Guido. Then Fina taps into her Icarian blood and stops the golems in their track. After the rubble clears, we are now alone. There's a little dungeon here, but I don't mess with any monsters and I get through it ASAP. On the other side, Fina is kidnapped, and Rap and Guido have a flying manta ray, so we fly off to the big ship the Garlisle Force controls. The ship is a lot like the Tower of Doom we were in, with narrow hallways and a lot of soldiers roaming about. They all start standing pretty close to each other, so we roast, blast, and blow them away. I Metal Gear Solid my way through the rest of them. Once at the heart of the ship, we get to the main battle with Nana, Saki, and Mio. If you hadn't noticed yet, Fina is still gone, so I'm effectively down to 2 mages. I start with some pretty piss RNG, and they use their Trinity attack twice before I can even move, killing us all almost instantly. I'm glad this game is so lenient with save points. On the next go around, I get to attack first, and I make sure I move everyone far away from each other so we don't have a repeat battle. Then I start out the gate with the strongest magic we have. The girls abuse Guido a lot. I mean, he is the perfect punching bag. Guido does his healing thing, and the guys just use every screen-clearing move we have. I'm not worried about MP since the heal point is right there. The first to go down is Mio, who had the lowest health, then Nana, and once those two are down, Saki is easy to delete. With them out of the way, somehow, against all odds, Rap hits some buttons and activates the self-destruct for the ship. Amazing writing. We get separated once again, and General Bad Guy takes our Spirit Stone by leveraging Fina and drops us into a trap. I don't understand why he had this pipe hanging down there that Justin is able to grab, but he gets it and he climbs all the way back up. We confront the General for a final battle to get Fina back. This is a one-on-one fight, and holy crap is it tough. The General is not only strong, but he is fast. All it takes is 2 physical strikes from him to kill me. He and I reach a stalemate a lot in this fight. I hit him, he hits me, I heal, he heals. It's a never-ending cycle of us being unable to finish the other off, and he consistently heals forever. I have to be aggressive if I want to win, so I die again, and again, and again. I died so much here that I restarted and checked all my equipment again. The only thing I could do was take off my talisman and equip this demon amulet. This gives +5 defense and +1 to all magic resistances. I swear, even with that amulet, his damage output is exactly the same, because it still only takes him 2 hits to kill me. Obviously, huge damage is important for this fight, so I opt to use Gad Zap, and when he physically tries to strike me, I use Evade in the hopes that the auto dodge kicks in. It does work a few times, but him healing is a major pain. He can either fully heal my level 2 magic or half heal my level 3s, and I just can't get them off fast enough. And this guy's laugh! I swear to God. His magic is nowhere near as powerful as his regular strikes, but they knock me down for so long that he gets multiple turns before I'm back on my feet. Once I run out of Gad Zap, I start using Burn Strike in tandem with Healer. Halfway through his health, I decide it's time to use that Revival Stone. It revives me automatically, and I wanted to save it for much later, but I don't have a choice now. I take the hit and go for more damage, but of course my MP runs super low and I have to take a turn to recover it. We end up in yet another heal off, and this cocksucker, right before my last move, hits me on the craziest backswing I've ever seen, killing me. That's it! Gloves are off!
These worms couldn't have done me in.
Yeah! We won, guys!
Take that, you stupid twat. Of course, we don't truly win, because then he brings out his hentai arm and throws us off the ship. But Fina takes off as well to be with Justin, leading to this tender moment. Man, how bogus. Does this mean my adventure's over?
Justin.
Fina, but why? Why did you follow me at twitch.tv/Dillon with a blankie? Now we'll be subject to quality content together!
Finally. Now I have something to listen to while I do my chores.
Fina? Fina! Silly. If you needed a channel to watch, I would have always recommended Dillon with a blankie. Fina. Ugh, bogus. No. Together we can get Dillon to 10,000 subs! That's all good though, we're okay. Ball is dead now, we just gotta get to Isnt. Oh, not again! Of course, we have to go through this massive area yet again. It takes a while to get back to the map, but on the way, Fina learns Baboom and Rap learns Craze and Boom Pow, thanks to the enemies in this area who can summon more allies. After a long time of backtracking, we learn to take the thing to the place and look at this yucky thing. Ew. The next area to traverse is the Rainbow Mountain. Thank goodness we got a Moge with us. Any attacks are critically strong against us, so the key here is attacking first and wiping everyone out. At this point, Fina now can see the level her magic needs to be to unlock her final spells, and Rap still has a bit of a way to go to gain more of his level 3s, but the slots are filling out nicely. At the peak of the Rainbow Mountain, we use the Pride Beam to find our way to the gay agenda, and this is where Guido parts ways with us. Anime cutscene! We are finally at Isnt. It's classy. There really isn't much to this place, just a series of boss fights. Our first fight is with the Hydra thing again, except he's stronger and more washed out in color. He mostly uses magic and we are pretty resistant to it, so a few lightning spells and his heads start popping. We get some very valuable blue potions from this battle, which restore the party's MP. Next fight is... oh, Christ. Yeah, it's him again. At least this time he doesn't have a boomerang. He throws an iron ball this time around, and he's still pretty tough to deal with. Good thing for us, he uses Halnado and separates everyone perfectly so he can only hit us one at a time. Once his weapons are gone, this dude is toast. For our trouble, Fina learns her first Icarian spell, Life Tree, which cures every status and fully heals the party. A very welcome spell to get, not to mention the Revival Stone we get that is sure to come in handy later. The only boss left is the dragon, who isn't an issue. He barely gets a chance to move while the party just obliterates him. After those battles, the only thing left for Fina to acquire is the spell she learns at fire level 27. She does have one more spell she can get, but it's Bug. In the original version of the game, it requires level 99 wind and water, which isn't happening. Have you seen my struggle just to get this shit in the 20s? We finally make it inside Isnt, and meet Liette in person. I'm sure you absolutely want to see it, but my capture froze here, so the whole recording is just gone. Anyway, Liette joins the party and talks about how depressing shit is, and Justin be like, just be happy, yo. And Liette says, never thought of it like that. And she joins the party. Now at this point, there is one more dungeon I would like to do. It's the hardest dungeon in the game, the Tower of Temptation. And I've been saving it till I got to Liette. So now I have a full usable party for this dungeon. This place is hidden in the savannah, and right off the bat, there are a ton of items we get, and a shop that has really good gear. It is pure ass here, and it took a while to get through it, because it's a huge maze. All of this leads up to the final boss of the tower, which is a reskin of the Kraken. It's no joke. This is considered the toughest fight in the whole game. If we can overcome this, then the rest should be in the bag. Oh man, we are not in for a good time. Even our lightning spells don't hurt it much. I really don't want to see how hard it hits us. Yep, that's about what I expected. This boy is very, very strong and can hit everyone no matter where they stand. Our first attempt ends in utter failure. So does the second one. Actually, that one is over with much quicker. The best strategy I could come up with was just to spam all my most powerful magic and queue up the heals early instead of after taking hits. I get lucky with some cancels, which gains us a lot of ground to do more damage. We do pretty well and have to restore MP a couple of times. But eventually we take out one of the arms, meaning he can't do his bullshit tornado arms attack. And we kinda just take care of it from here. We hit it with back-to-back lightning, turning this super boss into fried calamari. Whew, we did it. The tower has been conquered. Now, why do you think I went for this dungeon? Well, there are some special items at the top. First is this Sonic Bell, which hugely increases our action. I also got a bunch of action increasing stuff at the first shop. There was a Revival Stone and this Ethereal Miracle, which when equipped, doubles the magic experience gained for that character. Now I'm sure you know exactly what this means.
Come on, puppies! Let's go! Here we go! Come on, everyone! Fight! Fight! Cha-cha-cha! Fight! Fight! Cha-cha-cha! Let's go! Fight! Fight!
That's right. We learned all the magic, meaning now we don't have to worry about magic levels anymore. We just gotta go. As it turns out, Gaia and Ball are still very much alive, and Mullen and the forces decide it's finally time to mutiny, only after the massive genocide Ball has created. Better late than never, I guess, pretty boy. We hit the J base to help stop Ball. It's time to head through the first hangar, which is swarming with enemies. Since I don't need magic experience anymore, I sidestep a lot of them to confront Ball. This time with a full party. I start out this fight by using our newly gained Star Symphony, which raises every stat by 1 level, which is massive. Then I just hit Ball with whatever spell is at my disposal. Ball is no pushover though, his attacks have massive area to them, and when they land, he can clear half of our health instantly. We lay into some zaps and Fina gets to use her new magic.
Oh, spirits of red, use the furious flame to crush evil into dust!
Wow, this spell does 999 damage every time it's used, but unfortunately, it takes every bit of her MP for the 3rd slot. We take the man down, but of course it's not over yet. He fuses with Gaia and attempts to petrify the entire planet. We head the Zilpidon to help the residents from the impending attack, and we are a little too late as most of the residents are turned to stone. Got a couple of bosses here trying to defend the town, but with the power of love, we're able to stop the attack. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Alright, I'm gonna level with you. A lot of stuff is happening now. I'm gonna shorthand a lot of it. This video is already way too fucking long. Mullen comes up with a plan to kill Gaia, which requires Fina and Lean. Lean tries to persuade the party, which doesn't work. Lean then sacrifices herself to try and stop Gaia to give everyone some more time. She dies, and then Fina leaves the group to join Mullen in his attempt to stop Gaia. After Fina leaves, Justin loses his happy-go-lucky attitude for the first time, thinking he can't do this anymore, as everything is just so much bigger than he is. We then get to the biggest overreaction from Rap in Liete. Hey, you know what, Justin? Fuck you! Fuck the horse you came in on! Fuck the stupid other side of the wall you came from! I don't care what we've been through! You're an ass, and I hate you now! So fuck off! Justin, I wait upstairs in heaven all day, and I come down one time and you disappoint me? How dare you? I will never speak to you again. Never talk to me or my son, ever again. Yeah, wow, what a team, honestly. Who needs enemies when you have friends like this? Oh shit, even the ladies are gonna shit on him. What the fuck, dude? Justin has single-handedly pulled the adventure to this point and doubts himself one time. Anyway, people may suck, but the spirits, they chill, so they call to him. This makes him go to Guido looking for guidance. I'm not sure if Guido is being inspiring or just an asshole, but this accent has to be racist, right? Okay, I'm a little lost. Those two were just shitting on us, and how the fuck did we get Sue back? Who brought her over the wall? Why isn't our mother here? I have so many questions. Anyway, magical door. We killed dumbass boss. Magical sword I can't use because I'm a mage. Now it's time for the party to head to the Icarian City to make their way towards Gaia. The dungeon itself here is just a series of 4 paths and finding the right one to take. The enemies here are nothing to write home about, even without Fina being in the party. There is, however, some good gear for Justin that really raises his stats to the maximum. At this point, the party has nearly maxed out all level 1 and 2 spells, meaning they can cast instantly, and the enemies don't last a second. The boss of this area is yet another one of these things, and he is an absolute pushover. While he does resist magic a decent amount, and he has a hefty health pool, he can't stand against us with our new gear. Any damage inflicted on us is negligible at best, and after a few Star Symphonies and a lot of lightning magic, he dies. Deeper in, Justin breaks the challenge rules and uses a skill move. Bad cutscene, Justin! But at least he saves Fina and Mullen from the purple people. Then Mullen challenges us to a duel for honor or some shit, I don't know. Mullen is most certainly not like his daddy, because he just stands there and takes 1,000,000 volts of electricity and doesn't do shit but increases speed.
Turn to a crisp.
What? I can't believe it.
That's right, baby. Mullen joins the oh, wait, he's leaving. Never mind. Well, I guess he and our old friends will protect us from the outside, and after what seems like forever, we finally enter the last dungeon, Gaia itself. This place is a pulsating, disgusting mass. I mean, we are inside of a living creature, so that makes sense. We finally have Fina back, though, and nothing is going to stand in our way. Not even this tree thing. The difficulty once again gets jacked up, as this tree is super resilient to all of our moves. Even with 4 to 7 back-to-back spells, we only manage a dent in its health. Oh, did I say difficult? Because I never let him attack. Oops. Yeah, our magic constantly canceled his moves, and he never even got a hit, which made me feel kinda bad for him. Still took a while though. Up ahead is another boss reskin. He is as much a pushover as the last guy was, more or less. He keeps casting gravity, which makes so you can't move, and I don't need to move, so bye? Now is the intestine part. Yay! I got lost in the weird colon maze for a while, but eventually I find the end, and I mean, the end. This is it, guys. The final battle. Once we step forward, there is no going back. We will be locked in a 3-boss gauntlet. The whole run has been building up to this awful final battle. Do we have what it takes? No, I leave right away and save again just in case, but for real this time. Here we go. Ball in his final form. This monstrously grotesque creature. He boasts 4 different actions. His tentacles, the body, and finally the worst of them all, the cyst. While the others are formidable foes on their own, the cyst is in a league of its own. First off, it's immune to magic. Uh-oh. Second, it only uses abilities that will cancel out our actions, and that is all it does. So it allows Ball to have a massive amount of turns. I take this approach very strategically by raising our stats and even using a strategy I haven't used till now. I use the escape command to spread everyone out, which doesn't work very well, and it doesn't matter much, since Ball can hit everything on the screen most of the time anyway. Since the cyst takes 0 damage from my spells, I can't even deter its movement on the IP bar, meaning it will always move its normal turn, and that is devastating to the party. He has several massive attacks, like the Seed Smash move, and this laser beam, and there's no way to avoid it. So while we pound him with lightning, someone is always having a heal queued up. It gets pretty close a few times with everyone critically low on health. We get to a point where the arms have no health left, so I decide we need to take at least one of them out, and we manage to take out the right arm. On the next set of turns, get the left arm out as well. From this point on, the team changes from AoE to single target spells, and we focus on the main body. We are super low on MP as well, so it becomes time to use those blue potions I have. I'm still very careful of health, because all that needs to happen is this guy gets just 1 extra turn, and he can kill all of us with the right setup. Eventually, though, we finally wear him down enough. We did it! That is a very difficult battle on a normal playthrough, but we aren't done yet. If the game has taught us anything, it's that it will make more shit for you to do. In the next room are a ton of healing items to bring the party to full HP and MP, prepping us for the next fight, the Gaia Core. This fight has 3 targets. The core itself, as well as those 2 post things on the side. The bad part of this fight comes from those 2 posts, as they will spawn 2 enemies if they get the chance. And the enemies they spawn aren't a joke. The more they get to spawn, the stronger they become, chaining all of their attacks together. Our only hope is to keep spamming the screen with all the lightning magic, and making sure they never get a move. One of these guys manages to summon one of the worm things, and you can see how little damage it takes, even from the absolute pounding of all this magic. We still do a really good job with how fast all our casting is, and we don't take a single hit of damage. Once within range, Fina raises the battlefield, eliminating the only 2 threats, and now we can focus on the core.
furious flame to crush evil into dust.
Yeah! We won, guys!
And with that, we've done it. We beat Grandia using only magic. Justin and Fina approach the stone and break the binds of fate, carving a new future for the people of this planet. Honestly, what a beautiful game. Easily one of my favorites, and just using magic made it a bit more challenging, giving it a little bit more oomph. Grandia is a very easy game. Even with this restriction, it's still just impossibly easy, but it's still a fantastic experience, and I won't find any way to keep myself coming back to it. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you for watching, and hope you enjoyed the journey of Justin and the mages. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to support me by subscribing, liking, or whatever you want to do. Anything you can do helps me make these videos for you to enjoy. Thanks again for watching, and as always, stay cozy, everyone.
I wonder what Justin will say when he sees I've become such a beautiful lady. He might be just so surprised that his tongue will be tied. I'm looking forward to it.
Yay! We're in Parm. Now where's this seagull restaurant?
There's yummy food there, right? I'm hungry.
Hey, what's that? Hey, it makes noises. It makes a neat sound.
Hey, let's get it!
Neat. It's so soft.
Oh, this must be Puffy. It's just like Daddy said. Looks kind of like a lamb.
No, it doesn't.
Hey, are you... Where's your mommy and daddy? Over there. They're still on the ship.
Ah, it's running away. Gonna catch ya.
Yay!
Get up.